But, speaking of cartoons and animation and topical, we end up seeing the new Spider-Verse this weekend as well.
Oh, shit. I'm actually seeing it tonight.
You're seeing it tonight?
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah?
Good.
It was incredible. I think visually it was,
A feast.
I think, even like too good at points.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I'm watching it tonight, so I was like, and it's been a while since I've seen the first one, and Aki's never seen it, so I was just like, let me like refresh myself before I watch the second movie.
Yeah.
God damn, that first movie, fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Like I always forget how fucking amazing that show
I think we
is.
both said the first one we liked more. Right?
Yes.
I
Okay.
like the first one more.
I think
Okay.
I liked the first one more just because the first one visually was like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And it kind of like showed me something that I guess I'd never really seen before. Like the best way I can describe this is just like, like, did you guys ever see The Matrix at all?
Yeah,
Like when it came out though, when it was
was
like
3
new and
years old.
fresh.
Yeah, I was like 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like,
I was
like
3 gone.
yeah. Okay, no. What
I was new and fresh.
that's what I was trying to say. When The Matrix first came out, it was such like a visual revolution. It kind of revolutionized visual
A
effects.
Matrix Revolution.
Shut the fuck up, Joey. I swear to God. Stop with your dad jokes for a second, Joey. I'm trying to make a point here. Okay?
Nice one, Joey. Thank you.
But no, like, before The Matrix came out, no one had ever seen something like The Matrix. And, bullet time became a thing, became the slow motion effects. Whenever we see this bullet time effect in kind of like movies, we'd be like, it was like, it's the Matrix effect.
Yeah.
It's the bullet time effect that came from The Matrix. That's kind of how I felt watching the first Spider-Verse. Nothing had been released before that had given me the visual sensation that's the original Spider-Verse had given me. And it blew my fucking mind to the point where now I see like something like Puss in Boots like 2, visually
so
fucking
good.
spectacular. But I'm like, well, Spider-Verse did it first, Spider's,
The story was so good in Puss in
the
Boots.
story was really good, but I'm like, visually, I'm like, I've seen this kind of visual style before, and when I'm like, they seem like they were heavily influenced by what Spider-Verse had laid out for them. I'm not saying it's just like, Spider-Verse is better than everything. I'm just saying visually, that kind of laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
And Spider-Verse 2 definitely took things a step further. It upped everything up. It upped everything to a point where my brain did not have enough time to process everything that was happening on screen.
Excited now.
It's like the way I described it was, it's literally like watching a movie with Subway Surfers in the corner. There's so much.
There's like 7 Subway Surfers.
There's so much happening.
Subway Surfer, the movie.
Like almost like to a detriment at times. Like I wish for some scenes they would just let it breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's just too many moments, and like sometimes there'd be a lot of text on screen and you can't fucking read it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fast, and you're like,
Yeah.
hold up, pause, hold on, like, slow down.
Was it good though? Like,
Oh yeah,
It was
amazing.
it was
But
fantastic.
it just, I think it would benefit a little bit from slowing down.
right.
times, at points.
There were points where there were so many things going on. I'm like, my brain needs to slow down to process everything that is happening. And then even when there are some more serious story moments, they're like, okay, let's just change the color of the scene for every single cut. And I'm like, yo, can you slow down for just a second?
So they did a JoJo.
Yeah.
But like Jordan didn't do it every fucking frame.
Yeah. There is no time to breathe in this movie at all. And, it's a good thing, but when it's like, I think my brain could process it in the first film because it was like an hour and a half or something. This is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it puts its foot on the gas from like minute 5 to minute 2 hour 200 2 hour 20 mark.
Right.
It never takes its foot off the gas, and I'm like, holy fuck, I am exhausted.
Jesus, all right.
It is insane. And I think like the story as well is a little bit more, like the first film was a little bit more simple to follow along with. This one, there's like, here's like 20 different characters and 20 different worlds doing 20 different things. And and then we're going to connect it all into one coherent storyline. I'm like, I really like that. I really enjoyed that. It's just a lot. It's a lot to keep.
The only thing I know in this second Spider-Verse film is they pay the homage to the '60s Spider-Man memes quite a bit, right? Like they do like that one.
They pay homage to a lot of things and a lot of different Spider-Verses.
Easy.
You can probably take an entire fucking textbook and just to write about it, basically.
Dope.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
yeah, I think it's a film I definitely need to see a second time just to fully appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna most certainly have to watch the next one again before I watch the one after it at some point.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, it's a lot to process, and it makes me happy just to see, you know, people that are passionate about their work.
Yeah.
It's one of those films where it's rare just to watch like a piece of media and just to feel like, holy shit, the people really care. They fucking cared about making this good. They actually,
Absolutely.
yeah, everyone.
Like, they did not have to go that hard, but they did anyway.
Yeah.
And I like normally my problem with Spider-Man, like as a character, I normally actually kind of find him kind of boring. But I like Miles a lot. Spider-Man. I think he's really fun.
No, I agree.
I really like.
What'd you find boring about the Spider-Man character?
Well, maybe this is because I watched the Andrew Garfield ones last time.
Okay.
There's your problem.
There it
But like
is.
Tobey Maguire's kind of like he's kind of a stiff actor, is what I would kind of describe him as. He's kind of, he's not the most emotive. And
Right.
I guess it's kind of like fun nostalgia when I watched the 90s, like 2000s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But like, I don't know.
Well, because
I've never
it's still-
I've never really found Spider-Man as engaging as, say, Batman. Both of them sound so fucking dumb. You think about Spider-Man and Batman. You're like, what the- like Batman, I always found way more compelling as a character.
Well, I think it's
Because he's
because
like edgy and dark.
dude.
and
well, I
just
think it's
like-
because as
and
well,
he
like
had goat for actors portraying him. Like
the Tobey
Christian
Maguire
Bale.
films, especially, I feel maybe it's because like it was still during that era where like the Superman, sorry, not Superman, like superhero films were still very much in like the cut and dry, like superhero styled, like classic.
I mean, I
types
always
of
found that
showing
in
it.
Spider-Man, every other character was more interesting than Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I mean,
For me personally,
Yeah,
At least
yeah.
Until recently, we
I
started.
mean, the
getting,
villains
you know,
are way more interesting than
Yeah.
Spider-Man himself.
I think Spider-Verse does a good portrayal at just, you know, telling a story of what Spider-Man is meant to be. Like, have you played the Spider-Man Insomniac games at all?
No, they're only on
No.
PlayStation.
Oh, well, you have one now. You have
I have
one
a
now.
PS5.
Yeah.
I don't fucking play Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think the Insomniac games does a very, very good job at portraying the kind of character that Spider-Man's meant to be. Because I think Tobey Maguire, I agree, I really do love the original Spider-Man movies, but Tobey Maguire is just a little bit flat to me. Like Spider-Man's always meant to have had this kind of like arrogance, a little.
I
bit
like
of,
him though. I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I
a
was
little bit-
shitting on him. I was just like, you know,
a little bit of quirkiness to him and everything like that. Which
if it was Robert Pattinson, Spider-Man.
Well, that's just your
That
personal
would be. I'm
bias.
just saying he would crush it. He'd. I'm just.
like my favorite Spider-Man was the Spider-Man I grew up with, which is like the original 90s Spider-Man cartoon. That to me is the OG goated Spider-Man. The big difference between Spider-Man and Batman to me was I felt like I could actually relate to Spider-Man as a character, whereas Batman was always just this super uber cool thing
What
that
was more relatable to Spider-Man? About Spider-Man for you?
well, the fact that
He
he's-
delivers pizzas.
I was going to say, was it the radioactive Spider-Man?
Well, no, compare it to the both, you know. Do I relate more to a teenage superhero who's just trying his best to live a double life and just trying to get the fucking girl that he likes, or a fucking billionaire playboy with dead parents? I don't know. Which one do I relate more to?
That's just fucking. No, I actually studied martial arts as well, and with what's his name, Nielsen.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
or
well,
something.
what's the actor called who plays him again? The Irish guy, Taken.
Wait, which?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
I was
that's
like,
it,
which iteration are we talking about here?
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
The Shadow Society. Fucking sick. Bro.
Shadow Society.
I want to be trained. Train me. I don't know.
Comfy.
I don't know. You know, Batman's been hogging the limelight, but Spider-Man's crushing it lately. It's good to see. It's good to see the movies are crushing
It's
it.
good
And
to
Tom
see.
Holland's a good Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
fine.
like, yeah, Batman's always been just like, even as a kid, I was like, this is a bit too edgy for me. It's
No, I loved Batman.
Love Batman.
you're a Batman. Were you a Batman
I
kid?
think the world of Gotham is the most interesting out of all the.
I agree.
Like I think that Spider-Man is just like it's New York.
Say, it's New York.
New York.
Hey, it's pizza.
It's just
Hey,
New
walk in
York.
here. Yeah, oh,
Whereas
fuck.
Gotham's like, it's Chicago mixed with London, mixed with New York. It's kind of like
Mixed
this
with
weird
hell.
mixed with... Yeah, it's kind of this weird, fucked up world that's really cool and dark and grungy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found it more interesting as a concept. But that, I mean, that's just like such small nitpicks.
I've also
now.
just found like the Batman films to just be more interesting and well-made films compared to the Spider-Man films. Just
Really?
personally,
I mean, they had
think
they had
it's
like,
more in my taste. I feel.
I
than
mean, the Dark
Spider-Man
Knight
films.
trilogy fucking
Okay,
did some
the Dark
big
Knight
lifting.
the Dark Knight trilogy is, I think, the only one I'm super like emotionally attached to.
I like Batman Begins.
I mean, that was good enough to like carry the whole goddamn
But
franchise.
I feel like I liked the Dark Knight series just because it was a crime thriller with people who dressed up in bat suits. And,
Are you telling me
but
you
also-
don't like the George Clooney Batman?
Okay, hold up. But
With
also,
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Batman the Animated Series was insanely goated.
That was
I've
goated.
watched it. It was so fucking good.
That is goated.
We have Mark Hamill as the Joker as well in that, who is this is one of the best performances in like voiceover history. It's so fucking good.
It
Everyone
is.
went hard.
I just never like. I never liked it as a kid. I don't know why. Why did I?
If you like the Spider-Man one, you would have loved the Batman one.
No,
surely.
because I did watch both. I watched both
okay.
the Spider-Man animated series and the
was so
Batman animated
grounded
series,
and
and I think maybe that's why I didn't like it. It was like really, really grounded and a bit too like noir kind of like
love
feeling
that.
for me.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I just like I think I first discovered like the Batman cartoons and like the early Batman films during a time where I was just like, ooh, I like edgy stuff. Whereas I looked at Spider-Man, I was like, that's for children.
Hello, it
Well,
is
yeah,
I.
well, I always
It is
felt like-
I.
it always
I am a
felt like-
mature 14-year-old who likes dark, brooding things like Shadow the
Well, it
Hedgehog.
felt like you're like, I'm no longer 12 now, Mum. Put the
Yeah.
Spider-Man costume away.
Yeah, and
I'm
I-
14. It's Batman time.
And I never grew up. My favorite.
That's fine. They're both
no,
great, by
no,
the
no.
way.
No, they're
My-
both great.
I remember
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite Spider-Man arc, and this is maybe this isn't. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone in any way, shape, or form. But my favorite Spider-Man arc from the original animated series was the arc where he meets like the Madam Web or something like that, and he has to pick a bunch of superheroes to transport to this other world to have this fucking massive like war between superheroes and supervillains. So I'm like, wait a minute. This is I just realized now this is a fucking isekai.
That's why you love Spider-Verse, because it's a fucking isekai.
Okay.
We figured it out. It wasn't all about the groundbreaking animation or anything.
Maybe I
he
just-
just likes because it's an isekai.
Maybe I've never grown up. Maybe I've just liked the same things I've liked as a kid all along.
I also just realized, like, this far into this discussion, that this is literally every discussion in every comic book store across the world. Like, it's like, what's better, Spider-Man or Batman?
okay, hear me out. Batman into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, that's
Batman into the
sorry,
Batverse, you mean?
Batman into the Spider-Verse.
Batman into the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, they go into other worlds. It's cool. I like Crisis Across Infinite Earths because it has like other.
So what you're
Earths
telling me is,
and,
if they brought out a Batman that's an isekai, you would like it.
I mean, there is that. Like I said, it's the arc where I think it's called
kind of.
Yeah, I think it's the
No.
Justice League arc. It's like Crisis across Infinite Earths. I think that I found. I'm not
I
a
don't
big.
know. I never watched Justice League.
I'm not a big comic book person, but those my favorite arcs were always the ones where they cross over into like the other worlds and the other multiverses.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah.
And the Batmans meet the other Batmans, and the other Supermans meet the other Supermans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Hey,
One of my
Hey, what can I
friends
say?
goes,